Ladies and gentlemen, this debate is about two things. First is about the moral authority possessed by individual women against the value of life versus the state's impositions of moral value against individuals. Secondly, it's about the outcome of banning and how this contradicts with the role of legislations. And those are the stances from opening up. So, I'm going to start with the constructive and then engage with the rebuttals because I have a lot of things in terms of moral discussion in today's debate. So let's just delve into the idea of moral discussions. Why is it immoral for state to impose a decision on the basis of abortion specifically? I have 6 reasons. 1, the issue whether or not we should regard fetus, embryo, and those sort of things as life or even a moral agent or not is intensively debated right now, and we have no conclusion whatsoever in the common society. Both in scientific way, but also a moral agent way. In terms of scientific, we don't have a common discussion, a common conclusion that where does life really stand or that starts, etc. But we also say that moral argument. So whether that existence should be considered as a something valuable or not is a huge debate under status quo. So when it's contested and even never been settled, government should not have any authority to coerce in moral values. Why? Because government of moral authority of coercion is legitimized when there's a commonly accepted belief. In the same way we accept murder, theft, rape, and all those sort of things are considered as objectively bad, but yet in terms of abortion or fetus debate or the value of life debate, we never ever have a commonly accepted and widely shared socially accepted norms which legitimize any of the government intervention under status quo. And that's how we're going to stand. It is firstly illegitimate for government to intervene and impose a moral value in this occasion. But second thing is this, the trade-off exists. Even if the value of life is somewhat important. Because the idea of trade-off is particularly important in this case. Because when people are subjected to make an abortion case, even if for some reason value of life may matters, the trade-off values of over controlling and shape her lives especially matters. The reason why slavery is equivalently bad as death, as we all call slavery as living hell, is precisely because we as human beings are in fact capable in determining, and we feel generates a source of happiness when we control our lives, when the kind of decision-making process affects the entire life in the status quo. So pregnancy is not about the easy, casual thing. Pregnancy is a life-determining incident where people should able to have a control over her life and livelihood decisions. And we think, even if the life matters, her decisions to control the life, not to make her life hellish, is equally important. And that's how we should allow individuals to make an active choice of whether or not he should prioritize the idea of value of life or to protect themselves. But we also say the level of harm or trauma visited upon individuals is so cruel to an extent that government have no authority to impose banning, for instance. It is precisely because government is actively harming our citizens by taking their proposal. Because economic, when they lose jobs, dreams, psychological commitments, those sort of things, people are subjected to, baby carrying 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 9 months. What we also say, fourthly, is about there's a clear difference between moral preference and the legal obligations. We, as government, don't impose a morally preferable things as a legal obligation to each individual. We don't expect people to force individuals to criminalize myself on the basis of not helping other people, not donating, for instance. And furthermore, the kind of helping other people in this case is particularly harmful and restrictive because of what I've already characterized under status in the previous argument. But we also say the agent is perfectly rational and well known about their livelihood circumstances. So the good choice is an informed choice. And with regards to individual choice about their livelihood circumstances, obviously government is less know about her life, and with that, government have no authority whatsoever to control over her decisions. Finally, thank you. Government being authorized to offer a ban in the situation of abortion, social issues which we have so intensely discussed, brings the moral shield possessed by individuals against the government. In the same way, Law and Wade protected the individual right. Because if we allow this proposal, even if government abortion is so intensively discussed, but yet government is able to offer a ban, we will have a huge slippery slope because government is now able to say, even if people discuss about whether or not this is right thing or wrong thing, we have a right to impose of the living good lives, and we think that's abhorrent. Let's engage with a pragmatic by intertwining rebuttal building.
Do you have a time limit to abortion, like the classic 3 months thing? Do you have that?
I don't know. It's up to individuals. So let's engage with that.
Hang on.
Why?
Okay, never mind.
That's useless POI. Next, idea of outcome intertwining rebuttal against the Prime Minister. So in the outcome we fear is that what is the effect we label abortion as a crime? So it is a well-known fact that people are so desperate situation engage with illegal abortion. As well, we would also have, under status quo, the discussions by bravely opening up the discussion by women, like shout my abortions, those sort of things, and how we make abortion safer at the end of the day. So the converse of the converse of the status quo is that it is morally abhorrent for women to subject it to a living hell in the same because she have to endure a kind of harms which she have never able to consent. So here comes the bizarre counterprop coming from Prime Minister. We offer everything from women. So if that was the case, and if that was possible, perhaps government had already offered. And also, they have not necessarily offered a case where if the government failed to do something about women, how can you deal with that? So we cannot it is imaginary or hyper utopian for government to say, in the very, very, very best case scenario, they can win. But in a public policy debate, we have to be holistic and be risk averse. If the government fails, how can we do? And to protect themselves, I think opening opposition as a morally preferable stance we oppose.